Guys, it is time for a new update here on the Bitcoin price because as I told you in my last video, I'm about to open a new trade and it just happened, guys. Because as I explained to you in the last video, it's already a couple of days ago. Sorry for not uploading the last 2 days. I was very busy doing some other things. But guys, let's jump right into the charts because as you guys see, as we expected, we broke out of this massive rising broadening wedge. And I told you guys that as soon as we see a breakout and a confirmation with a break below the old high point, as I told you in my last video, right, I will actually open up a small short scalp position. And why is that? Guys, I'm opening now a small short trade just because in the history, right, we have been talking about this, comparing this fake out over here with a potential fake out over here out of this uptrend channel to trap as many bulls as possible into that normally bearish rising broadening wedge. And what happened is that actually we got rejected, we saw the fake out, right? We also saw that on the daily time frame we got a very clear rejection of here our downtrend. And now let's talk about what this means for the future. Not only for the Bitcoin price, because we have two very interesting on-chain data that I want to talk about today. One is a follow-up on one that we are looking at since a couple of days in combination with one that definitely makes sense to put them together in one analysis here right now. And besides this, on the weekly time frame, I mean, we have to keep in mind, guys, really running down what's happening here right now, is that we are closing, as we expected, below the 200 weekly moving average. I told you last week there's a high probability of us wicking above it and then still getting sold off. And if this happens, we need to get very careful again. And we can actually expect a more bearish week. And so far, this Monday is definitely starting bearish for Bitcoin. As always, guys, I would really appreciate it if you could smash up a like. My last video got completely destroyed by the YouTube algorithm. Normally, my videos get 1,000 likes, over 10,000 views. My last video, people wrote in the comments, they didn't see it in the subscription box. So I'm not sure if there is some sort of censorship going on now on YouTube here about crypto when the bottom is nearly in. I'm not sure, maybe I was just unlucky and it was a bad uploading time. But guys, no matter what it was, I would really appreciate it if you could support this video as always with a thumbs up, with subscribing to the channel, activating the bell and leaving a comment down below. I really appreciate it, and it shows YouTube that this content is relevant in a very short amount of time, since the Bitcoin price always moves 24 hours, and after 24 hours everything can be different once again. But guys, let's just jump right into the charts. Let's especially jump onto the smaller time frames, because on the weekly you just saw what happened. So now that we broke out of this rising broadening wedge, this rising broadening wedge would have a price target of approximately $19,500. This $19,500 is definitely a problem, because the last couple of times when we had a breakdown target of our, for example, rising wedge over here, when we had the rising wedge over here, let me zoom in a little bit so that it's a little bit nicer to see for you guys. We dropped down and we reached the price target exactly with a beautiful wick here to the downside, but without actually closing any candles below our very important uptrend here for the bulls. The problem now is that this rising wedge has a breakdown target of so far below our uptrend, to be exact, almost 5%, that a 5% wick on the 4-hourly candles gets relatively unlikely. So if we are now coming down here to this support, in my opinion, the likelihood of it breaking is way higher than ever before. And that's why, even though it's right now a little bit risky to go into this short trade I was talking about, I think it's definitely, in my opinion, no financial advice, in my opinion here, a time to get on the safe side. The hodl portfolio is there, the long swing position is there, a small short hedge to scale this short hedge potentially up massively if we break here to the downside. Because if we lose this trade, we only lose a little bit of money. It's not too bad. The hodl portfolio and also the long swing trade alone will carry the losses of this short trade. But what happens if we fall here to the downside? The long swing trade may need some additional margin to get saved from liquidation at $14,000. Maybe I want to open way higher and bigger long positions down at $14,000 to $16,000, and I want to, or maybe I just want to increase my spot Bitcoin holding position. So this means that if this worst case happens, I am now with actually very limited risk being absolutely prepared for a massive dump here to the downside, because then if we get here rejected, we reach the price target, we see a bounce, we get the rejection, and we break the old high point. I can easily double this position. I could even double this position once again, having my stop loss in a profit. So then I now have a very significant short trade that can provide me with great margin profits on the way down for the potential wick to $14,000 to $16,000. And that's why I, in my opinion, am opening here now, as already mentioned in my last video, because as always, guys, I'm always telling you when I'm opening trades, when I'm closing trades, and so on, that I'm opening this trade now. And besides this, guys, let's also talk about the on-chain data, guys, right? Now that we opened this short, let me upload this video also very quickly. We might get rejected now here on the hourly perfectly on the horizontal resistance. So I want to make sure that this video comes online quick enough. But even if it doesn't, guys, the likelihood of us retesting this upper downward sloping resistance is relatively high. So we might reach higher prices than we are at right now. Still, I would really like to upload this video because, like I said, crypto can change any minute. And yeah, let's take a look at this on-chain data. Guys, realized cap hodl waves. And this is pretty much displaying a little bit also how whales are behaving in this market, right? And what we can see here is that slowly the coins that whales are holding are getting into a significant profit, right? And and what we can see here is in every bear market, right, we pretty much top out in this a little bit below 50, above 50% range, right? So what happens is that right now we are still a little bit below it. It reminds me of the times here right before the big wick down to the $3,200 level in 2018. So this definitely shows us that there's a little bit more upside here and a little bit more downside for Bitcoin possible, which would also makes sense with the on-chain data that we have seen, that the whale activity is absolutely at a low point, right? The whale activity is at an absolute low point compared to everything we have seen so far this year. So does this mean the bears already, the bulls already, the whales already accumulated, and that's why they are now inactive, because they have already accumulated, they are expecting now the price to go up? Or are they not accumulating yet because they expect the price to have a big dump to the downside one more time? That's the very interesting thing. And that's why the decision of the bottom is in or not is going to be made very, very soon. And that's why, guys, I just want to be prepared for all scenarios. As you guys can see, as I just said, we are pumping a little bit to the upside. So if you're not in a short yet, right, but you are still going with the same strategy, maybe hedging a little bit against a long swing trade that you have opened since a long time, like I have, or maybe hedging against your hodl portfolio, whatever you do. Maybe if you are now too scared to enter now, choose a point where we are getting rejected at a significant resistance, a little bit at a higher price, so you have a little bit more downside and a little bit more downside potential and a little bit less upside risk, right? That's completely on you guys. No financial advice here. I'm just sharing what I am doing, but for the most people here on this channel, it's very useful. So guys, as always, I would really appreciate it if you would smash up a like, on today's video. Let's try to get this video in the YouTube algorithm with a comment, with subscribing, activating the bell. Besides that, guys, Ethereum 2.0, are investors preparing for ETH 2.0? We can see here in this beautiful on-chain data that the balances on exchanges for Ethereum is dropping dramatically. Why is that? Probably people are preparing for the Ethereum 2.0 launch. The question is this after we especially saw within the last couple of days Ethereum pumping so aggressively? Is this here maybe a buy the rumor sell the news event, right? This could be here the case, because if so much supply is now disappearing from exchanges right now, this supply will go back when people actually realize, wow, maybe we don't see a massive pump on the day Ethereum 2.0 actually finally happens. So in that case, we would see a massive spike up again in Ethereum getting deposited to exchanges. Everyone that was anticipating to buy the Ethereum 2.0 launch already bought and already withdraw their Ethereum from the exchanges. So this could be seen here from both sides. For Ethereum, I think Bitcoin definitely needs to see a bullish scenario. Otherwise, I think Ethereum could get hit very, very hard. If Bitcoin goes to the $14,000 to $16,000 levels, I think Ethereum will see, maybe from the prices it's at right now, a 50% correction still. So that's why I'm still being very, very careful. Guys, it's not far away. A few days, a few weeks, and we will know if this was the bottom or not. And then we can still enter. We have our long swing. We have our hodl portfolio. You can already start cost averaging into the market anyways. That's what I'm pretty much doing with positioning myself with long swing positions. I'm earning every day I'm earning crypto income as well, right? So I'm pretty much right now, definitely with spot positions. I'm not talking leverage, with spot positions, going into the market step by step at all times, right? Especially at these prices. But for swing trades, very low leverage for me is still the game plan for long, till we have significant market changes. But now, guys, I would really appreciate it if you could smash up a like. Don't forget to subscribe, activate the bell, and then we are going to see us in the next one. Till then, bye.